Hi everyone, I'm Rebecca Bolton from the Hormone Mentor, and I help busy women that are struggling with hormone imbalances to manage their symptoms naturally through food and lifestyle changes. And today's blog is all about low carb diets. And I want to talk to you today about what a low carb diet actually is, how it affects your hormones, what the benefits are of following a low carb diet, and also what the negative aspects are, so that you can make a decision on whether or not a low carb diet is something that would work for you. Now, I'm not a big fan of diets per se, and if you follow me, you will know that already. I'm definitely more about finding a healthy eating approach that works for you and focusing on the effects that food has on your body and how it actually heals your hormones. But low carb diets are talked about a lot, and it keeps popping up for me at the minute, and so I wanted to talk to you a little bit about what it actually involves. Now, a low carb diet is considered low carb if you are eating basically much lower carbohydrates than would be considered normal. So a very low carb diet would be eating under 50 grams of carbohydrates a day, and a moderately low carbohydrate diet would be eating between 100 and 150 grams of carbohydrates a day. So if you put that into perspective, most people are eating carbohydrates at sort of between 250 and 350 grams a day, so it is quite a reduction. But it actually isn't as scary as it sounds. So what it really is about is focusing on eating more lean proteins, healthy fats, whole foods from fruits and vegetables, rather than focusing on starchy, refined carbohydrates, which fill up a lot of our diet. Now, one of the conceptions is that when you eat low carb, it helps you to lose weight, and particularly it's focused on women that are struggling with weight gain around the middle, particularly post 40, where we tend to gain weight in places that we maybe didn't before. And low carb is something that's talked about as a way to help beat that. So what actually happens when you're eating low carb in your body is that basically when we are burning energy and using energy throughout the day, our body taps into our glucose stores, which usually is topped up by eating carbohydrates as fuel. When we have burnt all of the carbohydrate fuel that our body has taken in, it then taps into your fat stores. So the idea is that basically you're burning fat instead of glucose, and therefore you will lose weight. Actually, whether it's as simple as that, I'm not sure. I think also a lot of it is to do with the fact that when you're eating more protein and fats, you feel fuller, you feel more satisfied, you maybe eat less calories as well, and that's always an aspect when it comes to losing weight. So low carb diets can be really effective. They can help you to lose weight, particularly around the middle. They can be beneficial for women post 40, but there are also some negative effects. It's not quite as simple as that. It can have a massive effect on your mood, because when you eat low carbohydrate, particularly when you're eating sort of below 50 grams a day, which would be classed as a very low carbohydrate diet, then it can affect your serotonin levels. So therefore you may feel very, very sad and depressed and low, or you may just feel really raging and angry. So that's something to consider. And it also affects your thyroid. So what happens is your thyroid produces hormones, and one of those is called T3. And it's really important for your metabolism, for controlling your temperature, for lots of other functions in the body. And when you eat very low carb, it causes the levels of your T3 to drop. So that has an effect on, in the long term, how your metabolism works. So if you're eating low carb over a sustainable period of time, it can affect your thyroid hormones and how those are actually working. And when your thyroid hormones are not working as well, it can cause actual weight gain. It can mean that your metabolism becomes very low, and your weight sort of stabilizes and you could find it difficult to move. It could cause brain fog and things like that as well. So we do need to think about the effect that the low carb diet is having on your hormones as much as it is on having weight loss. Now, my take on it is that if you are wanting to lose weight, then low carb is a way to go about it. But just don't go crazy. Think about how you're doing it. Yes, maybe be cutting back on the carbohydrates and having moderately low, maybe having 2 meals a day, which are protein, fats, fruits and vegetables, and one meal which actually includes some healthy carbs like whole grains, things quinoa, rice, sort of gluten-free grains like buckwheat, which are great noodles, and lots of, things like sweet potatoes and white potatoes to fill up your diet. And or consider that there's some, you have a 2 or 3 days, maybe you eat low carbohydrate, and then 1 or 2 days a week where you eat higher carbohydrate to help fuel your body again. So just something to think about today. If you are thinking about going down the weight loss route and wanting to lose some weight because you've gained it and you feel like your hormones are affected, if you're going through the menopause, if you suffer with PMS and stuff like that, don't just go straight for the very low carb diet, because it's not necessarily going to be totally beneficial for you. Even if you see yourself losing weight, it could affect your energy levels, it could affect your mood, it can affect your focus and things like that. So try and do it in a sensible way, like I suggest anything, and practical, and think a little bit about having a couple of days in there where you're also eating high carb to help fuel yourself. And that is particularly if you are someone that is very active. It's more important to fuel your body with carbohydrates when you are really active, if you are burning off that energy. And think about when you're actually eating them. If you are active, if you do lots of exercise, eat your carbohydrates post-exercise, because your body will use them in the best way possible then. So if anyone has any questions about this video, make sure you post them in the comments, because I always love to hear that. And also, if you've enjoyed this video, I'd love you to subscribe to my channel so that you can get a notification every time I post a video, and find out a little bit more about the topics that I'll be talking about. Thanks for watching.